If you're confused about whether she likes you, that confusion is already telling you something. Attraction is not a mystery, it's not a puzzle, and it's definitely not a game of decoding emojis at 2 a.m. The truth, when a woman genuinely wants you, you won't need to beg for clarity. Let's talk about the number one sign she's truly into you, so you can stop guessing and start seeing reality clearly. Clarity over confusion is the standard, not the exception. When a woman is genuinely interested, her behavior aligns with her words and her energy feels steady rather than chaotic. Confusion is often romanticized in modern dating, as if emotional turbulence means there is depth, passion, or something worth chasing. But confusion is rarely a sign of strong attraction. It is usually a sign of uncertainty, convenience, or lack of genuine investment. When someone truly values you, they do not gamble with access to you. They do not leave you decoding delayed replies, analyzing tone shifts, or questioning whether you imagined the connection. Clarity shows up in consistency, in responsiveness, in presence that feels intentional rather than accidental. It feels calm, it feels grounded, it does not spike your anxiety and then disappear. Men often convince themselves that mixed signals are part of the process, that emotional unavailability is mysterious and therefore desirable. But attraction that is real does not need smoke and mirrors. It does not rely on mind games to sustain interest. A woman who is into you will not create distance to test your reaction. She will create space for connection to grow naturally. Her actions will not contradict her words. If she says she enjoys talking to you, she will continue the conversation. If she says she wants to see you, she will make time. If she values you, she will not behave in a way that risks losing you. Clarity is demonstrated through patterns, not isolated moments of intensity. Anyone can be warm for a night, attentive for a weekend, affectionate when it suits them. But consistent clarity requires intention. It requires emotional maturity. It requires genuine desire. When you experience clarity, you feel secure rather than hypervigilant. You are not performing to keep her attention, nor are you shrinking yourself to avoid pushing her away. There is no constant second guessing, no obsessive need to interpret hidden meanings. You simply observe alignment. Confusion thrives where effort is inconsistent and priorities are unclear. Clarity thrives where interest is stable and communication is direct. The moment you stop tolerating confusion, you raise your standard. You stop rewarding ambiguity. You start recognizing that genuine attraction simplifies things instead of complicating them. Consistency is the real signal because attraction that is genuine does not fluctuate based on mood, boredom, or convenience. Anyone can show interest in moments of loneliness. Anyone can be charming when they want attention. But consistency requires intention, and intention reveals desire. When a woman truly likes you, her effort does not depend on whether she is busy, stressed, or surrounded by options. She finds a way to maintain connection. She shows up regularly. Her energy toward you is not hot one week and cold the next. It is steady, predictable, grounded. And that steadiness is what separates curiosity from genuine interest. In modern dating, men are trained to look for dramatic signs, intense eye contact, long conversations, sudden vulnerability, physical chemistry. But intensity can be manufactured. Consistency cannot. Consistency is revealed in the small, repeated actions that require no performance. She checks in without being prompted. She follows through on plans. She responds because she wants to, not because she feels obligated. You are not chasing her attention. It flows naturally because she is choosing to give it. When interest is real, you will not feel like you are initiating everything. She will reach out. She will create opportunities to talk. She will maintain momentum instead of letting it die and then reviving it randomly when it suits her. Consistency also creates emotional safety. When someone is steady, you relax. You are not constantly wondering if you said the wrong thing. You are not analyzing response times. You are not bracing yourself for emotional withdrawal. Mixed signals create anxiety because they reflect unstable interest. Consistency removes anxiety because it reflects clear intention. If she disappears for days without explanation, cancels repeatedly without rescheduling, or only engages when she needs validation, that is not mystery. It is inconsistency. And inconsistency is indifference disguised as possibility. Real attraction does not rely on dramatic gestures. It relies on repeated choice. She keeps choosing to engage. She keeps choosing to invest. She keeps choosing to prioritize the connection in ways that are visible and reliable. Effort becomes a pattern, not an exception. When you understand that consistency is the true indicator, you stop being distracted by temporary highs and start observing long-term behavior. You stop rewarding unpredictability and start valuing stability. Because someone who genuinely wants you does not make you question their presence. They reinforce it through steady, ongoing action. Investment of time and energy is one of the clearest indicators of genuine interest, because time is the one resource no one can replenish. When a woman chooses to consistently spend her time on you, she is choosing you over countless other options, distractions, and responsibilities. Everyone is busy, everyone has obligations, but people make time for what they value. When she rearranges her schedule to see you, when she calls instead of scrolling, when she stays engaged in conversation instead of offering dry, minimal replies, that is not accidental. That is deliberate allocation of attention. And attention is currency in modern dating. Energy goes beyond physical presence. It is emotional engagement. It is mental focus. It is the willingness to participate in building something rather than passively consuming attention. When she is invested, she is not half present. She is not multitasking through your conversations or responding hours later with detached indifference. She asks questions. She remembers details. She follows up on things you mentioned days ago. She celebrates your wins and acknowledges your challenges. That level of attentiveness requires effort, and effort is a decision. People do not pour energy into connections they see as temporary entertainment. They conserve energy where they feel uncertain. True investment also shows in initiative. She suggests plans. She contributes ideas. She participates in maintaining momentum instead of expecting you to carry the dynamic alone. When energy is mutual, the interaction feels balanced rather than draining. You are not constantly performing to keep her engaged. You are not overextending yourself to compensate for her emotional distance. Instead, there is a rhythm, both of you contributing, both of you present. That rhythm creates stability because you can feel that the connection is being nurtured from both sides. When time and energy are lacking, excuses multiply. There is always a reason she cannot call, cannot meet, cannot respond, cannot prioritize. And while life genuinely gets busy, consistent patterns reveal true priorities. Investment is not about grand gestures. It is about repeated, intentional participation. It is about showing up even on ordinary days when there is no drama or excitement driving the interaction. The more someone values you, the more naturally they integrate you into their routine. You become part of their schedule, part of their mental space, part of their emotional landscape. Many people confuse chemistry with connection, but chemistry can exist without emotional openness. Emotional availability is different because it involves consistency in emotional presence. She does not shut down when conversations become meaningful. She does not avoid discussing expectations or intentions. She does not deflect every serious topic with humor to avoid revealing herself. Instead, she leans into the connection. She allows herself to care. And more importantly, she allows you to see that she cares. That visibility is powerful because it removes ambiguity. You are not left guessing how she feels or where you stand emotionally. When someone is emotionally unavailable, you feel distance even when they are physically present. Conversations stay shallow. Feelings are minimized, vulnerability is avoided, but when she is emotionally available, the interaction feels layered and authentic. There is emotional depth that cannot be faked for long periods of time. She invests emotionally, not just socially. An emotional investment requires courage because it carries risk. The willingness to take that risk with you reveals intention, sincerity, and genuine desire to build something meaningful rather than something temporary. Initiation matters because effort that is always one-sided is not attraction. It is pursuit without reciprocity. When a woman is genuinely interested, she does not sit back and passively wait for you to carry the entire connection. She participates, she reaches out, she creates opportunities for interaction instead of simply responding when it is convenient. Initiation is powerful because it reflects choice. When she texts first, calls without being prompted, or suggests meeting up, she is actively deciding that she wants access to you. That decision speaks louder than compliments or flirtation ever could. Words can be playful, but initiation requires intention. In modern dating, many men are conditioned to believe they must always lead, always pursue, always initiate. While leadership has its place, mutual interest naturally produces mutual effort. If you are constantly starting every conversation, planning every date, and maintaining every thread of communication, you are sustaining the dynamic alone. Genuine attraction creates balance. She will not fear appearing interested if she truly values the connection. Instead of playing hard to get, she will make it easy to connect. She will send that message when she thinks of you. She will share something that reminded her of you. She will check in because she wants to, not because she feels obligated. Initiation also reveals emotional confidence. A woman who is secure in her interest does not rely on silence to maintain power. She understands that expressing desire does not reduce her value. When she initiates, it shows she is comfortable acknowledging her attraction rather than hiding behind ambiguity. That confidence eliminates confusion. You are not left wondering whether she is simply replying out of politeness. Her actions demonstrate that she is invested enough to move the interaction forward. When initiation is absent, excuses often fill the gap. She claims she is busy, distracted, overwhelmed, and while life can be demanding, patterns tell the truth. If she never initiates, never suggests, never reaches out first, that is a pattern of low investment. Interest without action is just potential. Real attraction moves, it creates momentum, it pushes the connection forward instead of allowing it to fade. When a woman values you, she will not risk losing the connection by remaining passive. She will contribute to its growth through visible, consistent initiation that reflects genuine desire rather than casual curiosity. No mixed signals is one of the clearest indicators of genuine attraction because real interest does not thrive in confusion. When a woman truly values you, her behavior does not contradict itself from one moment to the next. She does not act intensely affectionate one day and emotionally distant the next without explanation. She does not create closeness and then abruptly withdraw to see how you react. Mixed signals are often mistaken for mystery or complexity, but in reality, they usually reflect uncertainty, indecision, or lack of genuine investment. When someone knows they want you, their actions align with that decision. Consistency in behavior creates emotional stability. You are not left questioning whether you imagine the connection. You are not replaying conversations in your mind, trying to interpret hidden meanings. When signals are clear, you feel grounded. You understand where you stand because her communication is direct and her energy is steady. She does not flirt heavily and then claim she is not looking for anything serious. She does not talk about a future with you while keeping her options open in ways that are obvious and dismissive. Her words and actions move in the same direction. That alignment eliminates anxiety because clarity replaces speculation. Mixed signals often keep people emotionally hooked because unpredictability can feel addictive. The highs feel intense and the lows create longing. But emotional volatility is not the same as attraction. Genuine desire does not require manipulation or strategic withdrawal. A woman who is truly interested does not create distance to maintain control. She does not leave you guessing to boost her ego. Instead, she communicates openly. If she needs space, she explains it. If she is busy, she reassures through consistency. Her behavior reflects maturity rather than emotional games. When there are no mixed signals, the connection feels simple, not boring, but secure. You are not chasing reassurance. You are not trying to earn clarity. You are not adjusting your personality to stabilize her shifting moods. Her interest feels intentional, not accidental. You see patterns of reliability instead of cycles of confusion. And when interest is genuine, it shows through steady actions that reinforce connection rather than destabilize it. The truth is simple, even if modern dating tries to make it complicated. Attraction is not a puzzle designed to test your intelligence. It is not a maze where you have to decode hidden meanings, chase disappearing energy, or compete for basic attention. When a woman is genuinely into you, the signs are not dramatic. They are consistent. They show up in clarity instead of confusion, in steady effort instead of emotional chaos, in invested time and focused energy, in emotional openness instead of guarded distance, in initiation instead of passivity, and in alignment instead of mixed signals. Real interest feels secure. You are not anxious. You are not over-analyzing. You are not convincing yourself that potential is the same as reality. When she values you, she shows up repeatedly. She communicates directly. She invests without being forced. She participates in building the connection rather than watching you carry it alone. Her actions match her words, and her presence does not fluctuate based on convenience. And the moment you truly understand this, everything changes. You stop rewarding inconsistency. You stop romanticizing confusion. You stop chasing breadcrumbs and calling it chemistry. Instead, you observe patterns. You pay attention to effort. You measure interest through behavior, not fantasy, because the right woman will never make you feel like you have to solve her to keep her. She will make it clear. And when it's clear, you won't need to guess.